Fiancé wanting a break after getting caught cheating. I've been with my girlfriend, fiancé for over 14 years. I've caught her multiple times flirting with other guys through online chatting throughout our relationship. She also broke up with me a few years ago for someone she met online through Xbox. We eventually got back together and also got engaged. Overall, we don't argue and have had a good relationship since. However, few weeks ago I saw a message on her Xbox from someone calling her a CNT for not answering her phone. I confronted her and she left work to come home and told me nothing was going on. She kissed me and assured me everything was fine. About 10 minutes later, after she had left to go back to work, she got into a car accident and totaled my car. Well, a few days ago I found out she's been talking again to the same Xbox guy she had left me for previously. The message I had seen a few weeks earlier was from that same guy. I also noticed she's been calling and texting with him. When I confronted her, she said she wanted to take a break. She says nothing serious is going on between them, but she refuses to show me their messages. Well, last night I noticed she's still talking to that guy while we're living together during our break. We have a son together and I know it'll hurt him if we separate. I do love her, but I also feel like enough is enough. At this point I don't even think a break will do anything to help our relationship, and after this I feel like I've lost a lot of my attraction I had towards her. I'm focusing on getting a new career and will begin saving up to leave our home. Yet I'm still torn between working it out or leaving. Any words of advice would be appreciated. She's still telling me nothing is going on between them, but the fact that I've caught her lying makes me think otherwise. Thank you all in advance and have a blessed day. I don't mean this flippantly at all. But if you lose a girl to a guy on Xbox, you don't lose much. She was always playing games. You've caught her multiple times in the past. And you're still with her. I mean, bruh. Like SRSLY. You gotta be kidding me. Bro. You are doing this to yourself at this point. Posts like yours irritate the hell out of me. You know what she is doing. You know what you have to do. And no, the kids are not a valid reason. You are just too scared to do it. So you come here and expect Reddit to give you a viable alternative to staying or leaving. I'm sorry. There isn't one. Your girlfriend cheated. She lied to you. She betrayed your trust. And she has done all of this repeatedly. Leave her. Good luck. Peas. Apologize for being rude and harsh. But it's still the truth, no matter how blunt. I don't understand why you think there is a possibility of working it out with her. If you have been continuously lied to and cheated on, what do you expect will happen in the future? You know it, she knows it, everyone reading knows it. Time for a fresh slate, and hopefully someone worthy of your trust and attention. Ex broke up with me, then was all over the girl I was crazy to worry about at a party. My 25 female, ex, 32 male, broke up with me 2 weekends ago because I was insecure about his friendship with another woman, 30s. This weekend I went to a barbecue at a mutual friend's that I didn't expect him to be at, and he showed up with her, and they were very obviously not just friend. She was sitting on his lap multiple times. He kissed her multiple times. He was basically all over her and I felt like he was rubbing it in my face. What pissed me off the most is that several people there knew what happened between us, and seemed to not care that it was hurting me and seemed intentional. Everyone just acted like everything was great and like they had been together forever. When I mentioned it to my friend, she just said, "I thought you guts broke up, what's the issue?" Basically like I was overreacting. I just feel so hurt and angry, and my friends don't seem to get it. These people aren't your friends. Your intuition was correct. He gaslit you and proved to be a supreme douche. Your friend is either dumb, was in on it, or lacks basic empathy. Remove yourself from these people and good luck in the future. Wow. Some of the other comments here are garbage. Best bet is that he did have feelings for her before, and when he knew she was interested, he decided to monkey branch. Particularly cruel of them to be all over each other right in front of you. Find solace in the fact that a man like that isn't worth much, and now some other poor girl is going to be subject to dealing with him. Avoid him where you can and go live your best life. Listen to your gut next time. It was right and could have protected you to some degree. Remember this. While he was fucking you and making you promises, he was trying to fuck her. Now that you are gone, he has a new opening for a side piece. His actions are a reflection of him. Sure, it hurts, and you should mourn the man you thought he was and the relationship you thought you had. But also remember this, you deserve not to be cheated on. They're not your friends. If this situation was flipped on any of them, they wouldn't be saying what the big deal. They would be hurt and angry just like you are. You don't need enemies with friends like that. I'm sorry op. There's bigger and brighter days ahead for you. Focus on you and healing. Go and see with all of them if you need to. Take care of yourself. Peace. Why would you even stay after they showed up? Like obviously your friends knew you and his new girl were both gonna be there and they didn't even give you a heads up, so that right there is a big F you to your face SMH. I would have stayed for less than 5 more minutes before I said something came up and I had to dip. Boss up B by girl. They don't even deserve to be in your presence, you are better than that white heart. I, 24F, am not allowed to discipline his 31M kids. I don't have any kids of my own. I'll never claim that I know how to parent. I just do my best and try to be as sweet to them as I can. My husband's kids are here for 2 weeks. The 7-year-old is always somewhat sassy, but this time around she's been nothing but mean to me and her brothers. Throwing their toys away, throwing things at them, writing on the walls, yelling at me not to talk to her. She even took a plate I made for her and threw it on the floor saying my food is disgusting. The list is even longer. Every time she does that, I tell her dad and he just says, "She's a kid, it's okay." Last night she took a whole cup of cold water and dumped it on her brother's head because I asked her to drink some before getting any more juice. She was getting ready to also throw her plate on the floor, so I told her to stop and go to her room. Of course she started screaming. Her dad came up and after she told him that I told her to go to her room, he started yelling at me in front all the kids. He said they're not my kids and I need to run things by him before punishing them. All I told her to do was go to her room, that was all. There has been so much happening between us and I'm just exhausted. I constantly feel like I'm just supposed to follow his orders. He can be so mean to me and I just keep telling myself he loves me and we'll be okay, but yelling at me like that in front of his kids. Any step-parents here who have been in this situation? How am I supposed to care for those kids if I can't tell them anything? My sister in Christ, get the fuck out of this marriage. You should not have to remind yourself that he loves you, after he dumps all childcare responsibilities on you and then bitches at you for how you handle a job that he should be doing in the first place. If you won't yeet this man rightfully into the sun, then at least stop taking on childcare responsibilities. If it doesn't get done, it doesn't get done, and his lazy ass can lose custody, visitation rights over the neglect he's putting them through. If he wants to be the only one allowed to discipline his kids, then he can be the only one looking after them. Go stay with a girlfriend or relative, surprise summer trip. Leave him to parent his children since he doesn't want you to do it. If they sit on their iPads all day and come home hungry and filthy, he's going to hear about it from their mother, which is the correct order of operations here. You're helping him be shitty to you when you prop him up. If he says hands off, then you go hands all the way off. Oh girl, I just left a man that never let me say a word to his kids and they were so FKN disrespectful to me for YRS. After 5 years I finally said FK this and realized my self-worth was more important and I left. He never held his kids accountable for anything, he never disciplined them, so their behavior never changed, in fact it got worse. You are far too young to be dealing with this. Fuck, I'm 44 and I was too young to be dealing with that shit. Get out and get happy. You deserve it. Leave this boss to deal with his kids on his own. I constantly feel like I'm just supposed to follow his orders. He can be so mean to me and I just keep telling myself he loves me and we'll be okay, but yelling at me like that in front of his kids. It sounds like he married someone to take care of his kids and to do as they are told. Why do you stay in this relationship? He's too old to be behaving so irresponsibly and you are too young to be dealing with this. And #X200B. Edit, I just saw your other post from 8 days ago. This is not a good situation for you. You're 24, do you really want this to be your life? You are far too young to be someone's stepmother and to be dealing with that mess. You as his wife should have some say, but you see that he definitely doesn't agree with that, so you have to do whatever is in your best interest. I say that because it most likely won't change and you'll be treated like this for many YRS to come. Good luck. Partner is disappointed that our baby looks like me. I need a reality check. My partner, 40s, male, and I, 30s, female, had a baby boy a few months ago. We both dote on him. We've had several light-hearted discussions in our family about who the baby looks like, because there's no agreement and he doesn't seem to look like any of us. Anyway, somebody mentioned that he looks like me. I didn't see it, but my partner agreed, and pouted as he said it, like he was disappointed, displeased. I wasn't sure if he was joking or not, so I pushed back a little on that, and he clarified that he isn't upset that the baby looks like me specifically, he just wishes his son looked like himself. I have a daughter, from a previous relationship, who is the spitting image of me, only she's prettier, and I love it when people say she looks like me. It feels like having a special connection. It's my favorite compliment. So I get wanting a child to look like yourself. Totally. However, I love finding aspects of my partner in my baby, like how they have similar colored hair, and how they frown the same way. I love it. Why wouldn't I? He's my partner and I love him and I'm glad that he is our son's father. Having a mini version of my partner would be wonderful. The fact that he wasn't thrilled to have a mini version of me hurt. I don't feel like he hates me, just that he has zero excitement about being my partner. But here's the thing. I feel very unwanted and not valued for unrelated reasons, and I can't tell if I'm projecting my general hurt and feelings of being dismissed and unimportant onto this interaction. I don't want to get into a cycle of reaffirming my negative feelings by constantly projecting them onto new things. Do most people want their kids to look like themselves and not their partners? Edit. Thank you, everybody, for your responses. The general consensus seems to be that this is not a big deal, though perhaps a little hurtful, and is not in and of itself a big indicator or anything at all. That's what I needed to hear. I'm clearly reacting this way because of the other things that are going on with myself and between the two of us. So, time for me to figure all of that out. Oh, and for the record, my partner is really wonderful with our son, and loves him a ton, no matter what he looks like. Thank you so, again, for commenting. Where you jump from that to, he has zero excitement for me being his partner is where I get confused. Sounds like you have some other things going on. Sounds like the kid is still a baby, and the looks will change a lot over the years. His expressions and the way he carries himself may end up making him look more like your partner after all. Or he might not. Are there some obvious visual similarities? Maybe point those out to him and talk about them. Some men in the postnatal time have illogical thoughts and worries about genetics. Anyway, it sounds like this is just a single issue in a whole bunch of things that are happening in your relationship and it's time to start talking them out, preferably with a professional. There is a huge difference between my partner is upset the baby looks like me versus he is upset the baby doesn't look like him. Imho, you have nothing to worry about. I remember reading somewhere that men have an evolutionary need for their kids to look like them so they can bond with the baby. Sorry, don't have the source. Let me explain. Women know for a fact that the baby that came out of her is her own. Men didn't have that luxury for thousands of years, until DNA test like a few decades ago. So men needed the baby to look like them in order to know for a fact that it was indeed his own offspring. This is not a personal attack on you. Kids' face shape changes over time, that's just life. When I was a kid I looked spitting image of my dad. Now that I'm grown, people say I look just like my mom. He's taking this way too hard. In one breath you say you get it, then in another you go back. He isn't disappointed that he looks like you, he literally said that. He's disappointed because he doesn't look like him. You said it yourself, you love that your daughter looks like you. Why would it be any different for him? The other problems are there and need to be sorted. I think this is just the camel's back. If you look at my oldest child's early pictures, they look just like their father. Now, at 19, they look just like me. Genetics are weird.